Okay, let me see. I'm gonna open this up in prayer real quick, and then Ray is gonna kick us off. Okay, we'll open all these up in prayer. Okay. Dear Heavenly Father, I pray, Lord, that this meeting blesses every single person that listens to it. We pray, Lord, that you give each and every single person strength, wisdom, that you give them bravery this year, that you help them to do big, scary things. And we pray, Lord, that this blesses their big business in a big way. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, you spotlight me? Woo! Okay, hi guys. Welcome to Big Business Energy. I am literally so excited. All of us are so excited for this. Listen, we need this just as much as you guys probably need it. Obviously, you need it because you're here, right? You showed up for a reason. So, we are going to be having these calls on the second Monday of every month. Okay, so make sure that you have it down. It's at the same time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. These calls we're aiming for an hour. Okay, we want to make sure we value your time. We also value our time. We know that Scentsy is not our entire lives, like our family. This butts into family time when we get it. So we're trying to keep it at an hour. Now tonight for the very first call, it might go over a little bit. Just because all of us are going to be speaking a little bit tonight, but for future reference, for future calls, we are going to be kind of splitting up us talking. So you might not see or hear from all of us each call. And I just want to throw this out there. If you are like rocking it out in your business, doing all the things, sponsoring, growing, training, getting some crazy numbers with your PRV, be prepared. Your leader is going to ask you to train. Okay. So get ready. And that is where I know that sounds so scary. I remember being asked when I was a little baby consultant to train on a call like this. And I was literally so scared. I was about to poop my pants. Okay. But I did it. I didn't die. And I grew so much from it. Okay. So if your leader asks you to train, please, please, please say yes, okay? Even if it's for literally 3 minutes, all you have to do is share what you're doing in your business that's working for you, okay? So just putting that out there. The goals for these calls are we need to bring the momentum back. And I can bet that all of you guys are here for that exact reason. I'm here for that exact reason. We need to learn how to believe in ourselves again. Okay, we have to push ourselves out of our comfort zones. That's the only way that you're going to grow. Um, we need to learn the power of consistency. If you have not learned that already, consistency is going to win over and over. Um, Also, remember the power that we have together. We truly are better together, okay? And that's why there's so many of us SSDs because we wanted to bring all of our groups together because we can learn so much from each other, okay? If you're not connecting with somebody in your group, I can guarantee you can find somebody here in this chat to be your accountability partner, okay? So we are better together. Um we need to remember that Scentsy always has our backs. Yes, they make changes, but at the end of the day, they are making changes for the benefit of us, okay, and our businesses. And then lastly, we want to equip you guys with the knowledge and belief in yourselves that you guys can also lead your own team and groups. Not just leading them individually, but you can also have your own training calls just like this with your people, okay? So we don't want to have to do this all the time. We want to break too. And so that's part of why we are doing these training calls to help you be the leader that you want to be. Okay. There is going to be homework at the end of this call. Chastity is going to share that with you. And then, like we just kind of hit on, we are taking mental notes or actual notes on who in our groups continues to show up to these calls, and there may or may not be a little incentive for showing up live. So this will be recorded and it will be on our YouTube channels and shared in our groups, just FYI in case you can't make all of them. But we are clocking to see who's showing up. Okay. Okay. All right. So we're all going to share a little bit about our stories. So, first of all, I realized I didn't introduce myself. I'm sorry. My name's Rachel Anderson, but I go by Ray or Ray Ray. I've been doing Scentsy for over 8 years now. It was 8 years in October, which is literally crazy. I joined because I had just wrecked my car. I was a full-time nurse, okay? I was a full-time RN, and I wrecked my car, and so I bought a brand new car. So I went from having a no car payment to a $400 car payment, and that just wasn't going to work for me because now all my play money was going towards a freaking car money and or a car payment. And your girl likes to eat out when she wants to eat out, shop when she wants to shop, get a Starbucks when she wants to drink, and that wasn't going to work. So my goal was to make $200 when I first joined. I hit way over that my first month. Then Chastity Robinson told me the potential of what a paycheck could look like with this business. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? You know people that make $10,000 in a month? Okay. All right. And here I am. I just kept going. I just kept going. I put my head down. I worked full time as a nurse and I hit SSD within 2 years. And then COVID hit, and I ended up leaving my nursing career to do Scentsy full time. And I've been doing Scentsy full time since. So it actually this month is, oh my gosh, 6 years that I've been doing Scentsy full time, which is absolutely crazy. Um, I struggled with infertility for 4 years. I just recently had a baby. He just turned 8 months, and he is the best thing that's ever happened to me and my husband. I live in North Carolina in a little small town. Yeah. Katie Lassiter, she's up here speaking. She's actually my sponsor. She's also an SSD, and we live about 20 minutes apart. So that also, I just wanted to say, if you know a ton of consultants around you, you can still be successful. Okay? You can still be successful. So, yeah, that's a little bit about my story, and I'm grateful to be here. One, I put the link, or you guys got sent the link for the keynote that Heidi did back in 2017 for Swing for the Fences. Go ahead and drop in the comments if you were able to watch it, what your biggest takeaway was from that keynote, okay? My biggest takeaway was you've got to exercise your brain to continue to have a growth mindset. Why was that my biggest takeaway? Because your girl, I'm not afraid to admit it. Your girl has had a little bit of a setback becoming a mom. It's extremely hard trying to run my business and do all the things with mom life. It's very, very hard. On top of keeping your house clean and doing all the other things that life throws at you. Like, life is going to keep lifing. But if you want this to work, you have to push through and you have to find what works for you. And you're going to have to take a step back and reevaluate a, a million times. Okay. I have had to step back and reevaluate my business a million times in the last 8 years. Okay. Have I lost my spark at times? Absolutely. But listen, my spark is back. Okay. I just want to let y'all know 2026 is the year of the horse. So I hope y'all are ready to saddle up. Okay. Yeehaw. Yeehaw. So anyway, back to my little takeaway real quick. Um, you have to exercise your brain, which just means like learning new things in order to continue to grow. Okay. Otherwise you're not gonna have the growth mindset. And you have to have a growth mindset if you want to make this business work. Okay. With that said, I watched a YouTube training. That was just talking about like how to talk to people and how to stop rambling, because that has just been, mom brain is a real thing and I had to get it together. So I've been just watching YouTube videos to try to help this mushy brain of mine. And fun fact, this was one of the takeaways I got. The game of business is just a game of conversation. Isn't that good? You just have to talk to people. You just have to talk to people. Okay? So, and yeah, and then one action that has transformed my business, I had to really reflect and go back to what worked when I was growing my business in the very beginning years of joining. And timers, okay? And guess what? I'm going back to timers. I have started doing it when I get some downtime, and sometimes that's 5 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes. Sometimes I get a whole 40 minutes if my baby decides to nap for 40 minutes. Very rare, but sometimes I get it. And when I say timers, I mean I literally go on my phone, I put my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I set a timer for, I don't know, whatever time I have. Let's say 10 minutes. And in that 10 minutes, I message as many people as I can in 10 minutes to book parties, or I message as many people as I can in 10 minutes to to have sponsoring conversations, okay? So, timers have literally literally changed my business, and I've just recently started going back to them. But also, you know what they change? They are a game changer when it comes to housework, okay? Put a timer on and see if you can empty the dishwasher in 2 minutes, okay? I guarantee you can do it. So, anyway, that has nothing to do with your business, but yeah, so that's all I have to say. I'm going to pass the mic to Arielle and make sure you spotlight yourself, girl.
I asked them if you weren't on when we were talking about it before. I asked them to remind me to spotlight people. Replace spotlight. There we go. Because I know who I am, and I'm gonna get so involved in what everybody is saying. I'm likely gonna forget. So if you hear them remind me, it's not because they're being mean. It's because I told them to. Hello, my name is Arielle. I go by Wicked. That's a nickname of mine, and that's how I've branded my business over the last 12 years. I started my business when we were stationed in South Korea. I was pregnant with my first kid. We had just moved across the world to another country, and I had actually been doing a different direct sales business, but it wasn't working for me. And I was buying a lot of Scentsy because Korea is a little bit of a stinky country. And so it was just like this solution that I found. And my sponsor had actually asked one of my friends to join. She didn't know that I wasn't super happy with what I was doing. So I approached her and I said, "Hey, can you talk to me about this?" And so from there it was kind of, one of these building my business because I was in the middle of having babies, living in a different country. My support network was the squadron that we were with, so the spouse is there, and my in-person family support network was back across the world. And so it was a really unique, different way to kind of start my business. There were stops and starts because then I had another baby while we were over there. And it was right about the time that I was getting ready to have my son that I was like, I'm really all in this time because I had said it before. Who hasn't? I'm really all in this time. I'm gonna do it. And we were also getting ready to move back across the world. And so it was just this momentum that I had gained because I was about to attend my first Scentsy family reunion in Nashville. And I had seen so many happen while I was overseas. And I was so envious of people being able to go to in-person events because I saw the community and the collaboration and the excitement and the energy that all of these events bring. And so we moved over here in June of 2016. I'm looking at my husband like he's going to tell me. They're eating dinner. We were rolling in two wheel sideways for my daughter's soccer game to get back here so I could get on the call. So I've got my dinner sitting in front of me. Anyway, so we moved back here June of 2016. He gave me the thumbs up, and SFR was in July. And so I hit the ground running when we came back, and it was amazing and it was incredible. And for the last 9 years, that was quick mental math. If you know me, I hate math. That was quick mental math. But 9 years I have been running my business. And there have been times, like Ray Ray said, like my spark has been gone, but you can't expect the spark to keep you going. It is the boring, mundane daily activities, that discipline of doing the crap that people don't want to do that's going to push you forward to keep you moving. And there's a lot of other things along the way about my story, but I don't think that's super important. The important thing is like I'm still here and I'm still working and I didn't give up. And I am so excited that we are here and listening to Heidi's keynote speech again. So that would have been my second SFR. It was 2017 in Kansas City. That was my second SFR. I had just promoted to director, and that growth mindset piece really stuck with me. I remember thinking that I need to name my fixed mindset. So I named her Patrice, and anytime Patrice talks to me, anytime she rears her head, I'm like, pipe down. I don't know if any of you have seen Patrice. Shut up, Patrice. For my husband. Have you seen How I Met Your Mother? Um, Robin's not nice to this gal Patrice. She just wants to be her best friend. But that's not who this Patrice is. It's just fun to say. This Patrice is the one who's trying to tell you that you can't do things, that you're not worthy, that you are just not enough. And she's a lying liar. We do not like Patrice, right? So tell her to pipe down because she is trying to rewire your neural pathways to make it so that you take the easy route, the route that is like, well, not much work or just posting and hope something sticks. We don't want that. We want to rewire our neural pathways so that, okay, we're going to do hard things and we're going to keep doing hard things and we're going to keep pushing forward and moving forward so that those hard things become a little bit easier, more manageable. And then our neural pathways will say, you know what? That's the path that I'm used to. That's the path I've been doing. We're used to it. I'm going to hear no a lot. And other people's opinions, that's none of my business. That was one of the things that I think really changed my business back in, I want to say it was about 2019, was that I stopped listening to other people's opinions for a very good amount of time. And sometimes they sneak back in because, you let Patrice win, but not letting other people's opinions sway what you do, what you say, what you think. Um, that is not the way to progress and move forward because are they the ones earning your paycheck? Are their opinions the ones that you can cash at the bank? It's a no. That was not a trick question. That's no. No. Other people's opinions are not going to sway your business, your life. They're not going to have an impact unless you let them, right? Because you can choose to let them. What you're not changing in your life, you are choosing. Are you choosing to let Patrice win? Or are you choosing to move forward and change and shift? So in 2026, I am really excited that we have this big business energy and we are going to move forward. And my light just died. And so maybe that was the cue. Maybe that was God saying, girl, you're done. That is enough. But I think SFR can have such, oh, my husband coming in clutch with his phone light. Listen, he is here for a reason and it is for good lighting. Bless you. SFR is one that you should start planning for now. This is life, you guys. This is how we exist here. SFR is so impactful. And even just listening to the one keynote of Heidi's, if you've never been to an event before, even just listening to that one is powerful. Can you imagine being in that room when they are giving their keynotes? It's life changing. It is so impactful. And I hope that you're planning to be there in July in Boise. Okay. So, all of this to say, decide who you want to be. And I know Ray Ray said that we're gonna have homework, and I don't want that to be if you're somebody like my friend Maggie who doesn't like to be told what to do, think of it in a different way. Think of it as a challenge for yourself to help you grow. Okay. So we love you so much, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass the mic to Amber.
Wow. I am just so impressed with your husband right now. That is like, oh, amazing. Okay. Hopefully mine doesn't die. Speaking of, because then it's gonna be really dark in here. All right. So, hi guys. I am Amber Ryan. I joined Scentsy. It's almost been 10 years. April is 10 years, which is really, really crazy. I thought about that and I was like, holy cow, like 2016 doesn't feel like I still feel like I'm 21. I'm absolutely not 21, but like didn't join when I was 21. I just time has absolutely flown. I initially joined Scentsy. I was a full-time special education teacher and didn't really want to be a teacher, never ever wanted to be a teacher. But I changed my major halfway through college and I decided that that's what I was going to do. So I was doing it, not in love with it, and had been using Scentsy for about 2.5 years. My sponsor had mentioned it a couple of times, and I was like, absolutely not, I'm not doing this. I did another direct sales company. If you guys know what Advocare is, so I did that while I was teaching. I loved the extra income because I was like, hello, I'm a teacher. I like to have fun. I like to go do things. And teaching wasn't that for me. So, if you are a teacher, you know how those paychecks go. So, I finally one summer was like, okay, I need, money to pay my car payment. So very similar to Ray, did not know that. And I was moving back home and I was like, hey, I don't want to wait tables and I don't want to nanny because I'm with kids all the time. So I finally decided to hop on my sponsor's website, press join, and then texted her and said that I joined. Took off very, very quickly in it. Still full-time teaching. So I did that see, for 4 years, as I built to Superstar Director, hit Superstar Director in 2020, got married in 2020, bought a house in 2020, COVID happened in 2020. Great year for me over here, right? And now our business, I can say across the board has kind of been like this and then like it's like a roller coaster, okay? So lots of growth mindset that has gotten me through the years. I was able to leave teaching because of Scentsy. I just had another child. Forgot about that part. She turns a month old tomorrow. So I have two babies. I have a 3.5-year-old boy. Actually, he'll be 4 in May, and I have a 1 month old baby. So that's been really fun. Life's been really, really crazy trying to figure out and navigate having two kids. It really hasn't been the baby that's been the issue. It's been the toddler that's been the issue. So if y'all can say some extra prayers for me, but we're getting back into the groove of things. Just trying to survive over here, but still knowing that I have to work my business. So my business looks very differently as it did last year, couple years ago. I work sporadically. But enough about that. Biggest takeaway from the keynote, other than the baby crying in the whole entire video, I was saying that when I rewatched it, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm having like anxiety watching this. Um, where Heidi said that Babe Ruth, it's hard to beat a person who never gives up. That is so true in any situation in life. If you have the get-go, if you have the momentum, you have the not motivation, because motivation, you guys know, motivation is literally like, what is motivation? You're gonna like listen to something and like have chills, and then you're gonna be like, okay, well, I don't want to do that. Like you're gonna like look at something else and squirrel and oh, well, I'm not motivated anymore. But if you never give up and you keep going, that is so powerful. So I want you guys to think about that with this year, with this big business energy, the energy that you bring forth and deciding that you're not going to give up when it gets hard is going to, it's going to propel you forward. Another couple things I love quotes. How Heidi said, I can't do it, I won't do it, I don't want to do it. How many of us say that all the time when we're doing follow-ups? When, gosh, I asked somebody today if they wanted to join my team. Like, I was literally like, it was everything in me. I was like, she's gonna say no, she's gonna say no, she's gonna say no. She did say no. It's fine. She literally just had a baby 2 days before I did, but I planted that seed. Okay. She's a teacher. She told me she didn't have money in her bank account. I can relate to that. Who am I to keep, put no in her mouth, even though she did say no? It's fine. I didn't die. Um, but you don't want to do it. We don't want to do it. Do you want to be successful in this business? You have to do the things that successful people do. That's one of the biggest things that transform my business is looking at successful people. What are they doing? What are the habits that they're doing? And how can I make those my own? I used to say the quote all the time, do it scared, and that's the truth. You have to be scared doing it. If you're going to let actually back at Arielle saying Nashville SFR. Here's my SFR plug. Mel Robbins was the speaker at that Nashville SFR, and I will never forget it was when she was teaching on the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you give yourself 5 seconds and you don't do the thing that is hard in those 5 seconds, you're going to convince yourself not to do it. Okay. Patrice, that is the greatest thing ever, is going to convince you not to do it. Okay. Um, Also, the power of yet, telling yourself, I'm not there yet. I haven't earned the Mexico incentive yet. I haven't. I was very honest today with myself. I have it written down in like 5 different places how many points away. I'm literally not even 2,000 points away from it. I haven't earned it yet. I'm going to earn it. Okay. Place that in there. That's going to help you with that growth mindset. Actions that transformed my business. Daily IPAs, so income producing activities, not the beer. I wouldn't be here. I'd be like falling over if that was the case. The label system that Katie Lassiter created years and years and years ago. I used to do that. I'm going to get back to that. I had a happy planner. I had it written out on sticky notes, or not sticky notes, labels. 2x4 labels. I even wrote them out. I'm a very paper pencil person. When I can check something off that I did it, there's a lot of power in that. So that is what I did to get where I'm at. Also, the 2x2x2 rule. Jen Audette created that, talked about that, trained about that a long time ago, back when the minimum was 2,000 PRV a month, 2 recruits a month for 2 years. That is what I know we've all talked about together. We all did that to get where we're at. So I know we're going to be talking about that a lot. Now it is the 2,500, which is the minimum to get the 30%. So that's a little bit different. But that's all I have. I do want to say I just want to talk about SFR really quick, just because of how powerful that first one was for me. This is in Boise. Home office is right around the corner. And Boise has really good coffee. And they have a really fun bar called Humpin' Hannah's. And that's all I'm going to say. I'm going to let you guys think about that. And we'll be there. So now, spotlight, who's after me? Oh,
Me.
okay.
Maggie,
Maggie.
I am. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me maybe? Yes?
Yes.
No? Okay, perfect. Okay, so my name is Maggie Hensley, and I'm a Superstar Director out of Raleigh, North Carolina. That's still weird to say that. I've been here for 2.5 years, but it's still very strange for me to say that. I was in Texas for the first, what is that, 12 years of my business. Next month is my 14-year anniversary, which is crazy. I'm listening to all of them say how long they've been with Scentsy, and I remember when every single one of them joined, and I remember doing trainings and have all of them be part of our trainings when they were very new consultants. And so I feel like an absolute grandma right now, but I'm also so honored that they've asked me to be part of this. So thank you for having me. Again, 14 years I've been with Scentsy, which is insane because it's the longest I've ever done anything ever in my whole life. I mean, other than be a wife and a mom. So, my husband Scott and I have been married for almost 16 years. We have 8 children. Yes, 8. And I've only ever wanted to be a wife and a mom. Literally, if you look at my senior yearbook, it says that I just wanted to have 6 kids and be super mom. And so that's all I've ever wanted. Having a career was never really something that I thought I would do. But then at the same time, I'm very independent, like fiercely independent. And so I like to make money so that I can spend it how I want to. I have a horse. I like to be able to pick how I spend my time. I don't really like to be told what to do. It's kind of a fatal flaw of mine, but it has served me very well. All the things that I was told were wrong with me when I was younger are the things that have propelled me to be where I am today. And so you don't have to believe anything that anybody says about you. You can choose the things that you can make your superpower. So, um, I the thing that back to when I joined Scentsy. I think that a lot of us have forgotten that this business doesn't have to be big, huge, life-changing for everybody. I don't know that anybody really joined and said, I'm going to be a superstar director. I'm going to quit my 9 to 5. I'm going to retire my husband. I'm going to do all these things with this business. We joined because we needed a little bit of extra money. We joined because for me, I was a very young mom. I had my oldest son when I was 20, and I joined when I was 22. I had just had my second baby, had just bought a house. His student loans had just gone into repayment. I still had not finished college. We had one car. I would only get to drive the car on Fridays because hyper independent. Again, I needed to get out of the house. I needed to drive around for a minute. And my treat for myself, even though we couldn't even really afford for me to drive around for a minute because gas, I would dig in my husband's cup holder and find change, or dig around on the couch and find change. And I would drive to McDonald's and I would buy myself a Coke, maybe also a small fry with change that I found because we had zero extra money. When I tell you we had a $25 a week grocery budget and we would have starved had I not been able to breastfeed, I do not exaggerate. I'm not joking. People look at my life now and they might think that I have it easier or we have it all because my husband has a fantastic job and he's worked his ass off to get our family where we are, but I know ball. We started from nothing, and we have both worked our way all the way up to the top of where we are. And so for me, it started with McDonald's fries. And it's really easy to look at the checks in the last 5 years, or the change in what my group looks like, or personal business looks like, or whatever, and be like, oh my gosh, I'm only making this much now. Are you kidding me? Like, I'm going to be just really honest with y'all, because I think that I can be, and I think that sometimes people want that honesty. But we got paid last week, and my paycheck was $3,000. Do you have any idea what Maggie in 2012 would have done if $3,000 had dropped in my bank account for the very little effort that I put in December? Just being very honest, because December is like the checkout month for pretty much everybody. It's just how it goes. So if you check down December, don't worry about it. That's just kind of the ebb and flow. But like, who am I to be disappointed about $3,000? Are you kidding me? And I joined so that I could have an extra what? $100? Come on. And so I think that we are maybe, and I'm talking about myself too, I think maybe we're just a little bit out of touch sometimes when you get to be a leader and when you get to where you're making better money. People aren't joining because they're trying to retire their husbands right now. They're not even trying to quit their teaching job or their nursing job, which is a huge blessing and incredible that you guys are able to do that. Maybe someday they will be able to do that, but that's not the reason why people are joining right now. It's just not. And so if we can just take a minute, and I never wanted to either, Chasity. Scott Hensley is not allowed to quit his job and stay home with me. We can't do that. We won't survive it. Like, that's just not a thing. That's never my radar. That's also not his like personality. He would want to start his own thing, and so we would be fine. Anyway, but here's the thing. We've kind of forgotten, or maybe just lost touch with, or however you want to pose it. Like, I'm not trying to necessarily change someone's life with this. It has the potential for that, 1000%. We are all a testimony to that. But at the same time, $20 a week might be what changes someone's life. Not having to calculate your entire grocery cart so that you don't have to put something back when you get out into the checkout lane might be what changes someone's life. You know what I mean? And so I think that just a perspective shift for me has been very helpful, especially when we're thinking about recruiting and building and just really touching people, is that I didn't really, when I joined, eventually, like Ray said, yes, finding out that somebody makes $10,000 a month, that is life-changing. But you couldn't have told me that before I joined and had that been relatable to me. That wouldn't have been relatable to me at all. I actually would have probably not joined had I thought that someone had that expectation of me. And so taking that away, off of our plate and off of them, I think might be a perspective shift that will be helpful now. And that's just a total aside. I did not have that plan to say. My takeaway from Heidi's keynote, which I very much remember hearing then, but it was it fell on very different ears now than it did in 2017. I could not have related to it then the way that I do now. Because she says, the core idea basically is that effort in the hard times is what separates leaders. And when I joined in 20, we were actually in a dip, and I didn't know. I had no clue. I had no idea that people were quitting left and right, that they were leaving for other companies. I had no idea about any of that because I put my nose to the ground and I worked. I had very quick success. I did all the things I was supposed to do because I didn't know to be scared in the beginning. I just did the things that I was told to do. I read all of the things on the workstation. I watched all the videos. I asked all the questions. I did supposed to do, oh, I need to do a launch party. Cool, I can do that. And I sold $2,000 in my first month, which is a $600 paycheck. And for a girl that just wanted a freaking French fry on Friday, that's life-changing money. And I've never looked back. So I just put my nose to the ground and I worked. I earned the first incentive trip without even knowing that there really was a trip, because I didn't even know how much I was going to get paid when I joined. I just knew. I honestly, I can only give credit to the Lord for why I joined, because I smelled Welcome Home for the first time. I've always loved fragrance. I found out that it could be a business, and I said for 6 months that I was going to join. For why? I don't know. I had never done anything like this, and why would I? Like, people kind of looked at me like, yeah, okay, you're going to do that. But I kept saying I'm going to for a Scentsy warmer for Christmas, and nobody got it for me, and I was pissed off. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to join, and I'm going to get my own dang warmer. Forget all y'all. I don't need you to buy me a warmer. I'm going to get my own. And that right there is all you need to know about Maggie Hensley. And so I waited till I got a tax return, and I joined with $99 that we got on our tax return. And I cried as soon as I hit the button, not because I was scared that I was going to fail, but because I was scared that I was going to succeed. And because I was scared that people were going to see me. And I was scared that I was going to have to face all of the things about myself that I was afraid of. That's why I was afraid. And it's the best thing I've ever done. The best thing that I've ever done. But in that time of me having my nose to the ground and working and not seeing what anybody else was doing, I've seen a lot of people come and go in this business. Some of my very best friends have come and go in this business, and that's fine. Bless and release. I want the very best for them. I'll always have love for them. They do not need to be part of Scentsy to be part of my life and for me to love them and care for them. But there's not a secret sauce here to making this business work for you, no matter what anybody tells you. There's not. The one and only thing that sets people apart is not quitting when it gets hard. That's it. That's literally it. Don't quit when it gets hard. Don't quit in a bad day, a bad month, a bad year. Do not quit. Attitude and effort are going to set you apart far more than anything else will. I tell my kids this. My kids play baseball. And baseball is actually a game of failure. I don't know if you've ever looked at the numbers. It's a game of failure. And you're going to strike out far more than you're going to do anything else in that game. And I actually don't care if my kids strike out. I want them to try. If they're going to watch 3 fastballs down the middle, spanking. No, we don't do that. We don't watch fastballs down the middle. You better strike out swinging. I don't care if you strike out, but you better give max effort all the time, because we don't quit in this house. So, in saying that, January is always a time when I reevaluate my business, because one of my goals for 2026, I need all of you to hold me accountable to this, is to finally address the very real ADHD that I have, because I'm at a point in my life that it is like hindering things that I need to get a hold of. And I have definitely seen in the last year that it has negatively impacted my business. I struggle with habits a lot. And part of that is, Arielle said, I don't like to be told what to do. I don't. And that's why I don't use a paper calendar or anything like that. I don't like to be things, because then I feel like a failure if I miss something, but I'm actually not, and I'm sorry, this is going really long. But I get off of my habits and the things that I consistently do in my business in the fall, because it gets really busy at my house with all of my kids and with business stuff and all of those things. And so it's really easy for me to get off track. And then I have a hard time getting back on track. But January, I do. I get back on my weekly emails to my team and to my customers. I get back on track with my monthly mailers. And it's just one of those things that, like, I've had to kind of free myself from the guilt of kind of falling off of certain things, because my family comes first. And if I'm doing all of those things, all of the things all the time, sometimes my family suffers for that. And that's just not something that I'm going to allow. This last fall, my son on accident broke my laptop. And that has kind of been an excuse a little bit for not doing the things I need to do in my business. I have a desktop. I'm on it right now. But this desk has been covered in stuff for months and months and months. It's like the catch-all area. And for me, for my brain, if something is cluttered, I will avoid it as long as possible because it gives me anxiety. And I, at the first of the year, when we got back from kids to Universal for Christmas, I cleaned off the desk and I cleaned out the office. And I told myself I was going to, every night before I go to bed, I'm going to make sure that the office is clean because I'm not going to allow myself to give this space an excuse as to why I can't work my business. So I am removing my own obstacle because I know that about myself. I stay up late after my kids go to bed and I make sure that the house is cleaned up because I know that morning Maggie cannot get her act together if the house is a mess. I cannot work my business if there's dishes in the sink. I just can't do it. It's just something about me. And that's just how I am, and that's fine. But I've allowed this to be an excuse as to why I can't do the things that I need to do. And so I'm removing that. And so maybe that's you too. Maybe you need to stay up 30 minutes extra. Maybe you need to get up 30 minutes before your kids. I do. I have to get up before my kids. If my kids wake me up in the morning, the whole day goes wrong. And I know that about, I need the 30 minutes to like drink my cup of coffee, get my, do my Bible reading or workout or whatever it is. I know that about myself. And so I just want to encourage you to take some time in the next couple of days, week or whatever, and see what it is about you and your life and your business makes you work the best. And I don't just mean work as in like your business. I mean you as a person. How do you operate the best? What are the things that help free up that space in your mind to allow you to be able to work your business? And tackle those. Don't let those continue to be an excuse. It's like a chain that you're dragging behind you. Like don't allow that. Cut it off. And so when I evaluate my life, I know those things about me. And then when I evaluate my business, I say, okay, what are the things I did last year that worked really well for me? What are the things that are non-negotiables? And what are things that I either want to add or take away? Or maybe I used to do something really great a couple years ago and I got away from it and I want to bring it back. And so January is always kind of that time for me. And if you are feeling any kind of guilt, because I do, if you feel any kind of guilt about something that you've maybe let go of, or maybe you haven't contacted your customers in a while, or maybe you haven't been good about sending out the mail, or maybe you can't afford to send out the mail anymore, then stop doing it. Stop doing it. There's no reason you can't stop doing something that doesn't serve you and your family and your business anymore. If you're spending all your money on postage, then you're not making any money. And then who's that actually serving? 0 people. Okay. So just change it. It's fine to change things. It's not okay to roll over and give up. It's not okay to watch fastballs down the middle. It's okay to strike out, but you better be swinging. Because I'm still going to cheer for you either way, but you at least better be swinging. So I'm so sorry that I went very long. I got off on a tangent. I'll try to not do that next time. I think Whitney's up next.
That was amazing. So I'm just over here like, yeah, just keep going. I'm good. We'll just listen to you talk all night. Love it. Hi guys, I'm Whitney Hebel. I am the Superstar Director of Simply Grace and Grit. I have 2 boys. I have a little man that lives in my house. He's 13. It's really weird because he has a mustache and a bedtime. It's a very weird time of life right now because he's bigger than me, he's stronger than me, and it's a problem. We also have an 11-year-old Grady, and he's not far behind Bennett, but I'm an Army wife. I've been married to Eric since 2010. We currently live in Tennessee, but we're moving to North Carolina next. Oh my gosh, I almost said next year. We're actually moving in a few months. It is 2026, so that's crazy. I've been with Scentsy since 2017, so I actually wasn't even a consultant when this keynote was made, when it was recorded. So that was really cool. I had never actually listened to the whole thing. I've heard the bits and pieces. There's a really popular, cute poster from this keynote. It's the one that has a bunch of different colored writing. There's a big poster up at home office, which if you go to SFR, you'll be able to see. I've taken a few pictures in front of that poster, but it's from the end of the keynote. So, anyways, I joined in 2017 just to make a couple extra $100 a month. And in 2019, Grady was going into kindergarten and Eric was deploying, and I had to make a decision whether I was going to go back to work full time or give this Scentsy thing a go. And we gave the Scentsy thing a go, and thankfully we did. This is my full-time job. And I say that it is my full-time job by choice. So I am blessed to have been in a position where I got to choose what I wanted to do. If I wanted to give it a go or go back to work. And we did without for a while I was getting things up and going with a real business. So like I said, Eric's in the military. His pay is public. Like, they don't get paid enough. I'm just going to say it. So we struggled. I couldn't afford Scentsy when I started. The only thing I had that was Scentsy was a warmer that someone had gifted us when we got married. And Bennett had the green froggy buddy that was gifted when he was born. No wax, nothing else, because it was a luxury and it was not something that we could afford at a time. That's not where we were going to put our money. So yeah, I gave it a go. We were in Georgia at the time. We've moved from Georgia to New York, and then New York to Tennessee, and then we'll be in North Carolina. So we have moved all around with our business, like a lot of consultants have done. And honestly, it was as simple as a decision with this business. Like I said, I was already in, but it was the decision that we made as a family to make it a real business. And the first thing that we had to step back and say was, well, what's going to take this to the next level, right? I'm making a couple extra $100 a month. That was the goal. It was great. But what do I need to do to take it to the next level? And from that day, that is what I've been doing since 2019. And that's the important things in our business, not the fluff, not the crazy things that you see on social media. It's the behind the scenes work, right? It's the messages, it's the conversations, it's the planning on what you're going to say or who you're going to message so you can use your time wisely when you're actually doing it and don't have a baby in the background crying, right? It's not the pretty graphics. It's not the pretty flyers. It's not the beautiful pictures. Those are fun, but those are not going to provide you a paycheck. So there is no secret sauce, like Maggie said, but I'll talk about the one thing that the action that has transformed my business in a little bit. But it's funny, we didn't even plan this, but Maggie, the thing that we say in our family too is the two things you are in control of are your attitude and your effort. Just like she said. And my biggest takeaway from the keynote is that effort is a strategy. And this just really stood out to me. Heidi highlighted a few things about effort, about how effort builds skill over time, and it separates those who talk about success from those who create the success. Effort becomes a habit that builds confidence, and effort is not a random hustle. It's purposeful, it's consistent work towards that growth. It's a deliberate choice, right? It's not just doing more, or it's not doing more. It's about a systematic action that builds skill and resilience over time. So effort is like that bridge between a challenge, and maybe that's, I'm sure a lot of you can relate, the challenge that maybe you feel in your business right now. Effort is going to be the bridge to that mastery, right? So it's not the busy work. It's going to be that bridge that's going to get you from the challenge to figuring things out in your business. Heidi also mentions that consistency trumps intensity. So again, effort is not doing more, but effort does build confidence and momentum. It doesn't matter how inspired you feel. A lot of us have already said that tonight, so I'm not going to harp on that much, but effort is what matters and what you repeat, okay? So it doesn't matter how you feel. It's just like, and I say this to new teams all the time, like, I'm not your boss. It's good and bad, right, that we don't have bosses, because it's funny when we were talking about grass is always greener where you water it, people say, oh, well, if I'm not making money here in Scentsy, but I am making it at this job that I just started. Okay, well, how many times have you showed up in your Scentsy job, and how many times have you showed up in the job that you have to go in and clock in and out and be there for 8 hours a day? There's a difference, right? You're going to get paid where you show up and where you put that effort. Let's see what else I have. Effort leads to learning, and it also leads to results. So effort isn't just trying harder, it's trying with that strategy, with that reflection. And you may be asking, okay, what's the difference between effort and action? Because they're two different things, and this, I actually learned something here, so I wanted to share it with y'all. But action is doing something. So it's the physical steps you take. It's the posting, it's the messaging, it's the booking parties. And action is important in our business, obviously. But honestly, action can be done half-heartedly. It can be done where you're just in the mindset where, like, yep, I did it. Yeah, I sent a message. Yeah, I had a joint conversation. Yeah, I replied to a comment. But the effort is how you do it. So it's the intention, it's the consistency, and it's the energy behind that action that you're taking. So examples of efforts is posting when no one is commenting, following up when it's uncomfortable, keeping momentum when you're discouraged, still doing trainings when no one is showing up, still posting on a team page when you're getting little interaction. Okay. This is what is actually going to move the needle over time. That's your effort. So instead of thinking I did it like you do with an action where it's kind of like a check box, effort is going to be I gave it my all even when it was hard. And so that's the difference why we're talking about effort between that and action. And both are very important, but let me see back where I am in my notes. Okay, Heidi did say that leaders shape culture by example, and that effort is visible, and visible effort attracts others. And I thought that was huge, especially if you are a leader. She's known for modeling consistency, showing up, and she even talked about how when it got hard, she didn't want to show up. But again, people don't respond to just talking about things. They respond to observable actions or effort with leadership. So when leaders, or even if you're not a leader yet, you want to be, and even if you don't want to be, that's fine too. But you're part of a greater team, whether it be your SSG team, your director's team, or just Scentsy as a whole. Side note, I think we really need to come together as a company because Scentsy is one big team. But when a consultant is visibly working, that's going to motivate, even though that's temporary, other people to do the same. Okay, so teams are going to be activated, or it's going to be vice versa. If they see that the leader isn't visibly working with effort, they're not going to either. Okay. Effort is not about doing more things. It is the strategy behind that decision to stay in motion when there may not be an immediate payoff with it. Okay. So the action that has transformed my business is actually different than what I wrote down. It's going to be honestly showing up. And that again has been something since 2019 that I have tried to do my best in my business. I showed up to trainings. I showed up for my team. I showed up for myself. I showed up for my family. And so even if you don't, and you're doing it tonight, and I just want to say, one, thank you for being on, but you need to thank yourself. You need to give yourself, maybe y'all, half of y'all probably maybe were like, should I go? Should I not? I haven't had a training in a while. Let's go see what it is. We're glad you're here, but honestly, I want you to be glad that you're here. I want you to take what you're hearing tonight or what you're learning, even if it's just one thing, to take a step forward in your business to put that effort back into your business, because a lot of us are missing that. So you're already here, you're already showing up, and the next step is just to have that effort in your business. And that is all. And then Miss Katie Lassiter is next.
Wow, I get to follow all of that. I love that for me. I love that for myself. Let me find some people's faces so I'm not looking at myself. I love that for me. I'm Katie Laster. I am a superstar director. I will have been with Scentsy for 9 years on Sunday, which is crazy. It's the longest job I have not gotten bored with because I get bored very quickly. I really do. Normally, people don't last past 2 years. I get bored. I like change. I like routine. But I started Scentsy, so Fun fact, didn't own a Scentsy warmer. Had only ever saw and smelled Luna. That was literally the only scent I smelled, and I fell freaking in love with it. My husband's best friend's wife sold it, and the Stargaze warmer was coming out, right? And I was obsessed with this warmer, and then she told me it was $50. And I said, for a warmer? That's not going to happen. She said, but we have a starter kit this month that's $49. So my husband talked me into signing up underneath my sponsor. I signed up, and literally the very next day I called Scentsy and tried to cancel. I had buyer's remorse. I tried to cancel my kit like in transit. I was like, I changed my mind. I don't want to do it no more because I don't have a family support system, a friend support system. Those that are on my team and group know I live in a one stoplight town. Stoplight doesn't hardly work. Got a lot of dollar stores, but we ain't got nothing else. Didn't have a computer, didn't have internet. Like, I was like, who in the fart am I going to even sell it to? Because this was silly. This was a silly, silly mistake. So I tried to call Scentsy and return my kit before it even got to me. They said that you can't. It's not, it's like in the mail. So we can't do that yet. So anyway, it got there and I took it to work and I ended up hitting Shooting Star. I'd only warmed Luna. That was it. So, fun fact, my sponsor decided to leave. I didn't know who anybody was. We didn't have a first things first checklist back then. I placed every order I got online, didn't attach it to a party because I didn't know that was a thing. So, like, for 3-4 months, I didn't get rewards. Didn't know that was a thing. The struggle was real. Looking back, I don't know what the fart I was doing, but all I remember was YouTubing literally everybody. Katie Farner taught me how to do home parties. And I wrote everything she said at her first home party. And that my first home party was a joke. Thank God me and her had the same name because I literally wrote down every single thing that she said at this home party, okay? It was a joke. But I got my first paycheck when I started. Let me back up. I had my son. I had to leave him to go back to work at 4 weeks. I literally counted down how much PTO I had the entire time I was pregnant. I had enough for 4 weeks. Yes, you get whatever it is. You only get a certain percent of your paycheck for maternity leave. And we was broke. Like, we just got married. I was told I never have children. Surprise! On my wedding night, I got pregnant. Look at God! On my wedding night with Aiden. But I had to leave him at 4 weeks old. So imagine being told you will never have children. You get pregnant with this miracle baby, and then you have to leave him at 4 weeks. I was devastated. My whole life, I dreamed of being a nurse ever since I was a little girl. I was a nurse for 12 years. My whole life, I dreamed about being a nurse, and then I had this baby, and now I had to leave him to go work 10, 12-hour shifts. I was devastated. Devastated. So Aiden was 10 months old, 11 months old when James taught me into doing this and signed up, got my first paycheck. I only signed up to make $200 because we was tight. When I would get paid, I would have to log on to my bank account before we would go to Walmart. And sometimes I'd have to do some shady stuff with some checks, like write it above and get somebody to cash it the next day when I got paid, just to pay our bills. And he farmed at that time part-time too. So we were struggling on a 2 income. I was like, we can just make $200 a month. My first paycheck was $200. I wrote this down. My next paycheck was $1,000. And I literally remember James was in the shower and I walked in there when we got paid and I said, you will never guess how much my paycheck was. He said, how much? I said, $1,000. He said to me, wouldn't it be cool if you made as much doing this as you made as a nurse? You might be able to come home with Aiden. And I said, it's no way. Stuff like that doesn't happen to people like me. I literally live in the middle of nowhere. I came from nothing, literally came from nothing, live in the middle of nowhere. There's no way that something like that could happen to me. So now keep in mind, I had no internet. Some of y'all been riding with me for a long time. Y'all know I used to train y'all in the back of the gas station parking lot. Y'all know I couldn't train y'all at home. I had to train y'all on my lunch break. I didn't know what I was doing. The beginning of the first year and a half of my business, I had no idea what I was doing in my business. But I knew that whatever I did that month to make $1,000, I would say to myself, I need to do that again and go a little harder. Every month I competed with myself. I competed with nobody else. I was barely on social media. Very rarely on social media. I ran my business off sticky notes. Still do. Still do. I love me some sticky notes. I would write people's names down, and in between patients, or when I could piss, if you're a nurse, you know, sometimes you got to hold that bladder. I would randomly talk to people. I would message them. I had people picking bag parties up out of my car because I couldn't go outside. You're held hostage when you're a nurse. You can't go outside. They would pick up bag parties. I wasn't host coaching. New team, I would literally have customers and I would say, you should just get paid off your stuff, and they would join. I didn't train anybody. Y'all, Ray, I didn't train you. I tried to. As a trainer, I didn't train nobody. I would say, hey, I'm here if you need me. But what I did do was everything I did in my business, I shared with everybody. What they did with that was on them. I said, I'm here to help you. Can't do it for you, but this is what I'm doing, and it's working. But I would challenge myself every single month. So I promoted to Superstar Director in 2 years. 2 years. And I wrote this down. When I decided to leave my job on a Thursday, who leaves their job on a Thursday, okay? Me. I said, I ain't gonna quit on a Friday. I'm gonna quit on a Thursday. I was making $4,339 was my paycheck. I surpassed my nursing income. The day that I left nursing in my scrubs, I was in the kitchen with Aiden, and I looked at Aiden, and I said to him, your mommy is never leaving you again. Ever. Ever. I look up whenever, if you're in my group or my team, y'all know I always look up during calls. I look up. You have to know why you're doing this, because you will quit if you don't know why you're doing this. Behind my computer, behind you guys, every time I don't want to work my business, and trust me, I don't want to every day. Last year was a joke. I lost my mom last January. It's been almost a year since I lost my mom. It's been a joke. I have not wanted to work my business. I work my business every single day, and I have pictures of my kids behind my computer. And every time I don't want to work, I remember what it felt like to leave my kids. So guess what? What you want has to be greater than your feelings and your circumstances. You're not going to feel like it. Promise you. I've been through the ebbs of throat, almost 9 years. I've had sucky months. You're going to suck. You got to suck. Listen, you're going to suck for a while, and it's fine. You're going to be all right. You're going to have to suck for a while. But I was desperate. And when you're desperate, you'll do anything. And when I mean anything, you're going to ask people to party. You're going to talk to people about joining. When you're desperate for something, and I was desperate, I didn't want to leave my kids. Okay? I think everybody is out to get my kids, really. I think everybody's trying to human traffic them and stuff like that. So I don't trust anybody with my kids. I'm kind of a psychopath. It's fine. I don't want to leave my kids. So I was desperate, and desperate people are successful in this business. When you know why you want it and why, you got to be hungry. You got to be hungry. You have to give yourself time and consistency, and it equals success. People quit because they think this is easy. And listen, the tasks of this business are easy. They're simple. But this is not easy. If you want long-term success, you're going to have to hear no. You're going to have to be ignored. You're going to go through hard times. You're going to lose leaders. You're going to lose your team. You're going to lose your mind sometimes. You're going to have bad things happen in your life, and it's going to happen. Listen, this business is not easy, but the tasks are simple. When I started this business, I wasn't on social media. And guess what? I promoted to the top of company in 2 years. And I wasn't doing reels or in my stories or posting on Facebook. You know what I was doing? I was talking to people. I was talking to people, and I was talking to all the people. All the people. I still don't do reels, y'all. I probably got like 10 followers on Instagram. I don't care. I don't care about no followers. But guess what? My PRV is between 5,000 and 15,000 every month. I don't have slow months. I don't have slow months. If I got a slow month, I'd be booking parties back here. I don't. And that's not to pat myself on the back, but I got babies to raise, and I'm not trying to leave my babies. So I run this business like my life depends on it, because it does. My life does depend on it, because I want to give my babies a life that I never had growing up. And you have to have something deep down. Listen, some of you guys, I'm going on it's going to be all right. We're going to close the trip in a minute. It's going to be fine. I'm going to land a plane in just a minute. Promise. Promise. some of you guys want to be motivated all the time. You're not going to have somebody challenging you all the time. You're not going to have somebody motivating you all the time. I don't have somebody messaging me all the time motivating me. And come on, I'm going to challenge you. I got to tell you, you got to do it yourself. You got to motivate yourself. And those pictures behind my computer is what motivates me all the time. I don't want to work my business. Don't. There are times, especially this past year, it's been hard to lead my team and my group. But my team and group will tell you I show up for them, because if I don't, who will? If I don't show up for my customers, who will? You got to show the way, especially if you're a leader. If you're a leader and you have a team, you got to show up for your people. Listen, corporate job, you can't call your corporate job and say, hey, I'm really going through a hard time right now, but I'm going to come clock in, but I'm not going to work. Okay? You can't call corporate job and say, I'm clocking in, I'm coming, I'm clocking in, but I'm not going to do no work because I'm going through a hard time. So it's going to be like 3 months, but I'm going to come every day. I'm just not going to do no work while I'm coming. That ain't going to work. That's not going to work. Your results in this business is going to match your effort. It's going to match your effort. Got one more thing. It's fine. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Let me find it. Where is it at? Oh. Your job isn't to convince anyone to work. Your job is to show people what happens when you do. It's been 9 years. I've been doing this for almost 9 years, and it has not been easy at all, but it's been worth it. It's been worth it. It's given me, I've earned every top tier trip since I've been a consultant. Top tier, not just every incentive, every top tier trip since in 9 years. You never know what thing in your business is going to change your entire business. You don't know what person, what customer, what teammate that joins you is going to change your entire business. You just do it. And you do it every day. Every day. Because you don't know what's going to be the shift. What is it that's going to change everything for you? You just have to keep going. If you're distracted, I have notifications turned off on every page. Every page I'm on, I don't know what the fart is going on in Scentsy World. I don't know nothing until people text me, because I don't know. I get distracted. I'm like a little squirrel. I don't know what's going on. If it ain't in the news tab, it ain't none of my business. It's none of my business. I told Dan that on the last incentive. He asked me some things. I was like, I don't know nothing about that. It ain't none of my business. My business is my business. You ask any of the people, Ray and all them, I don't know some things. Sometimes I'm like, when did this happen? I don't know none of this stuff. You don't know. So let me end that ship, and let's talk about SFR, and then I'm going to go send it to Chasity. Okay, Chasity. SFR, you need to go. SFR was the first time I ever left my baby. I roomed with 6 complete strangers. Don't really recommend doing that. My anxiety was through the roof. I don't know who these people were. My plane was canceled. I was stuck in the airport. James refused to come get me. So it's the first time I've ever left Aiden. And the plane canceled, not delayed, canceled. I had to spend the night in the hotel room, in the airport. I arrived to SFR a day late, hadn't showered in 2 days, smelled phenomenal. Room with 6 complete strangers, knew nobody at SFR. Nobody. But I stood in that room, and it was the swing for the fences. It's the first time I've ever heard of it. That was Kansas City was my first SFR. And I remember looking around this room at these crazy. They were crazy. They kept yelling Scentsy Spirit, and to this day, I don't like that. I know some people do, but I don't like that. They were all screaming like lunatics, dressed in purple and crazy. But I remember looking around, I'm like, I will never be these people. Like, I'm from an itty bitty town. I will never be successful, ever. And at this point, I was a star consultant. I was like, I don't know who I will never be these people. When I listened to Orville and Heidi talk, and I cried, and they announced the trip to Spain, and I texted my husband. I was like, I just might as well quit. This ain't for me. I will never be successful. And he said, how do you know if you don't even try? And I got on the plane back, and I literally started booking parties and talking to people. And I had no clue what I was doing. I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And we earned the top 25 spot of that trip. From somebody from an itty bitty town that came from nothing, that knew nobody, with no support at all, you can shock yourself. You have to put your blinders on and pay attention to what the fuck you're doing, not what everybody else is doing. That's a lot of people's problem. They too busy worrying about everybody else, writing novels on people's comments on the official pages. Y'all stop writing novels and book some parties and talk to some folks. Okay? Stop it. You're not going to talk people out of their opinions. Okay? Anyway, let me land this plane. I love y'all. But you have to believe in you. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can do this for you. Nobody can want it for you. We can want it for you, but nobody can want it more for you than you. Okay? So, love y'all. I'm ending the plane. Chastity, it's your turn. Got all my sticky notes. You take them all off.
Maybe I should just land the plane and just stop now, because how am I supposed to follow all of that? Because I have a lot of
some
notes.
out of it.
I have a lot of notes to say back to Katie. Anyways, guys, if you don't know me, actually, let me pause that, because 67 of you are still on this call and it has been over an hour. So I just want you to clap for yourself and pat yourself on the back. Kiss your brain is something you probably, if you read that, you're probably like, what the fuck is Chastity talking about? It means kiss your brain. That's what I used to tell my students when they did something really smart. So kiss your brain, because you are here learning, and that is something that you should be doing in your business every single day, which I know is very, very difficult and sometimes unattainable. But even if you're just listening to turn your true crime podcast off, I'm talking to myself, and listen to something business related or training center. Duh. Anyway, I'm Chastity Robinson. I'm going to land that plane real quick and tell you my story. What's really great about this month is they surprised us with a $49 join special, but you're getting like a way better kit than Chastity got. I joined on the $49 join special with less than $72 in my bank account. Had no idea if my card was even going to go through after tax and shipping. I actually tried to click back because I was like, shit, this is a bad decision. I have no money. It is like the 20 something of the month. I wasn't making good decisions in my life at all at that point. So I was single mom going through a divorce, had just sort of moved in with my current husband, not my ex-husband. My mom wasn't happy about it. I was doing another direct sales. My life was chaos. Okay. If you know anything about my story, that my ex-husband was showing up, doing all the things I had absolutely no business. None. Why did I spend my last dollars on a Scentsy kit? I'm not sure, because no one asked me to join. I just decided to. I said, this is a good decision. No groceries. It's fine. Everything's fine. But that's what happened. And guys, it fundamentally, absolutely changed my life. But that's not why I joined. I joined because I was tired of waiting for the person I was buying Scentsy from to bring me my shit. Honestly, sorry for cussing. That's just what comes out of my mouth sometimes. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. She lived farther from me. At the time, the minimum shipping was $150. Tracy, who's my mother, and I were buying at least $150 a month in Scentsy. So we were having parties like every month, but I was shipping it. She was closing the party. She was living in a different city. It was taking 7 years for it to get to me, in my opinion. I'm not a patient person, and I also don't like being told what to do. So yeah. Okay. So it wasn't taking 7 years. She actually was not a bad consultant. It just, I wanted my stuff now. So I said, you know what? Let's spend the last money that I own, that I have, with no paycheck in sight and no child support. And, you know, my boyfriend will buy us food, right? It'll be fine. Anyway, so, what I was saying, I was doing another direct sales at the time and I needed money, clearly, right? I love Scentsy. I had been a consultant or a customer for years. I really didn't know how I was going to make money. That wasn't my goal. Clearly, I just wanted to stop paying shipping and I wanted to be in charge of when I got my stuff, because I have control problems. Okay. So that's why I joined. And before I knew it, I had earned Shooting Star, Sensational Star. No one trained me. I got my first paycheck. It was $700 and something. And I was like, the shit is this? And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, Disney World. I grew up going to Disney World. I think Disney World would be a good idea, but yeah, that's not going to happen for me. I can never take Mason to Disney World. I can't even afford to buy groceries after I pay all my bills. So whatever. All of a sudden, Chasity turned Disney World and I didn't even know it. And I'm like, oh, so this is like a thing. Because when I joined, I told my sponsor, I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not going to party with anybody, and no one's joining my team. Leave me alone. If you know me, I'm an introvert. No, don't talk to me. I've got this. But then once I was like, okay, what's going on? Maybe I could do this. Let's just see. So then I trained myself on YouTube and I learned everything that there was to know about anything, because if I'm a compulsively nosy person, so I need to know 110% of the information all the time, everything there is to know. Okay. And if I go all in on research on something, praise God, there was no chat GPT back then, because I would have known Heidi Norval's probably social security number back then. It would have escalated very, very quickly. Okay. Stalking charges probably would have been involved at some point. Anyway, so got involved, earned Disney World, and truthfully, at that time, like I said, I was doing another direct sales. Let me just put this right here, and I'm going to say this with my full chest. You can't do 2 direct sales and be successful at them. Period. Hashtag drop the mic. Stop trying to do it. You're not going to do 2 direct sales at the same time and build a team and be successful. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I quit the other direct sales and my Scentsy business flew. And I'm here to say that forever. Okay? This is where if you don't feel like you belong here, that's okay. Just like Maggie said, people have came and they've gone, and if you want to leave, that's your choice. Just don't bash us on the way out, because this has been a great place. And since he's done a lot for all of the people that end up leaving, regardless of what they're posting on the internet, since he did something positive for them, or they wouldn't have stayed as long as they did. So just let that be known, okay? Now, with that being said, does that mean you can't go make extra money having an affiliate link? Does that mean you can't have an Amazon link? Absolutely not. We need money, baby. That's what we're in this. That's what this is for. Anyway, I will go on a tangent about that, but you can't do it. I don't care what you see someone else doing. I don't care about any of that. You watch what the successful people are doing, and those successful people in this business are not going to be doing another direct sales. They're not. Period. That's all I got to say. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. I did not join this business to quit teaching. Never wanted to quit teaching. Never had a goal to quit teaching. If my husband quits his job, I'm getting a divorce, because we will never, ever, ever survive in this house together. It's not going to happen. He likes to control things. I like to control things. We don't control the same things, and we don't have the same thought processes. It will never happen. That's never been a goal of mine. Would we love to invest money into things later? Fine. I only walked away from teaching because Scentsy gave me the choice to walk away from teaching when COVID happened. No one saw COVID coming. No one saw schools deciding to shut the frick down. No one decided one day, Chasity, you have to teach your classroom of 4th graders. There's 25 of them. Half of them aren't going to show up, but you still need to be on your computer all day long, and you have a 1st grader downstairs in his whitey tighties doing his class that he's supposed to be on all day, and you have a psycho toddler. I don't remember how old she was, but she was very psycho, that wants to be in your classroom and your son's classroom at the exact same time. And you have to work your Scentsy business, and you got to do it all the things. And I said, yeah, dog, it's not going to work for me. Not going to happen. So I finished the school year, and then my principal was kind of like, yo, are you coming back? Because I feel like she knew. She was one of my best customers. And I was like, I don't know. Well, then when August rolled around, and I was like, I feel like they're going to go virtual all year. I don't know what it is, but I feel like that's going to happen. And so I turned in my resignation like 3 days before school started. Wasn't a very good choice for me, but turned in my resignation letter. So had to do that. Had to buy a laptop because I didn't own a computer besides the one that was given to me by my school. And then had to enroll my kids in private school for my own sanity, because I was born to teach other people's children, not my own. So I was going in full-fledged with Scentsy all at the same time, because that probably doesn't make a lot of sense to other people. Public school was going full virtual. Private school right down the road was in person all the time. Chasity was not teaching Mason Robinson because I was not teaching his grade. I don't know shit about shit. And even though I've passed the second grade, I have a master's degree, I was not eligible to teach him. And if Marley did not get out of this house, one of us was moving out. So I decided to go all in, or I had surpassed my income or whatever. By then I had promoted to SSD. But like I said, I never wanted to quit my job. I had the opportunity to quit my job because God put this in my life and God gave me this business and he knew what I didn't know. And he didn't know I was going to need this opportunity further down the road. And now I've been able to be there for my kids and be the car rider mom and be the field trip mom and be the mom that income disclosure. Yep. About all those things that I wished I could have done before. Now, I want to go back to what Maggie was saying. She brought up what I was going to say. Most of us did not join because we thought about changing the world and quitting our jobs. Most of us joined because $100 would have fundamentally changed our life. And that is what I believe every single one of us need to back that truck up and think about when we are recruiting and sponsoring everybody. Because if I see somebody say, yo, girl, join Scentsy, change your life, quit your job, retire your husband, all the things, I'm like, but you all what? Nobody's doing that. That, and it's unattainable. Most people are in a job that, I ain't gonna go that far and say most people, because a lot of people really hate their jobs, but people can't see that. And right now, people are struggling to put gas in their car. They're struggling to buy groceries that they want to buy. They're struggling to buy Christmas presents. They're struggling to be able to go get their nails done if that's what their extra money is for. They're struggling to meet needs, necessities, right? So that is what I myself have also had to really back that truck up when sponsoring. Is it absolutely okay for you to tell your story and to share that that's what those things have done for us? Absolutely. Absolutely. Because I don't think a lot of people would have stayed in Scentsy as long as they did if they didn't see those things were possible. Like Ray said, I had a conversation with her in a hot tub and I was lit. We were in Europe. I don't hardly remember even saying that, to be honest. But I remember, but now she's came back to me later and we have a picture of us in that hot tub actually after, like during that conversation. And it like blew my mind that I had a conversation with her. That was the first time I'd actually even met her in person. And that changed for her. Right. And so you just never know what could change someone's life. The outside, the stuff you see on Facebook, what you see people post is a highlight reel, and you already know that, and you have no idea what people are suffering with. You have no idea if people are going to bed at night not knowing if they can get to work tomorrow because they might not have enough gas. So people are laying in bed at night praying for an opportunity like this. They just don't know it. And it's all about the way that we approach them. So that's my story on that. One one action that I did in the very beginning of my business that I've done the two by two, which they've mentioned, which we now are going to call the two, I don't know, 2 by 2 by 2.5. I don't know what we're going to call it, but it means originally it was 2,000 PRV, 2 new recruits for 2 years. And if you do that consistently, you are going to build life-changing or game-changing business income, but you have to teach your teams to do the same. So obviously now it's not just 2,000, it's 2,500. And there are going to be months where you might not sponsor 2, but you're going to pick that up in another month when there's a really good join special and you get 4 people to join. And honestly, now with the way that the world is, we probably need to up that to 2 new recruits. Are we going to go for the bare minimum? Absolutely not. Because this is going to be a year of rebuilding. This is the year of momentum. This is the year of positivity. This is the year of protecting the family. Because right now, and I hate the word culture because I have Katie Lassiter and we've got a bad taste in our mouth about the word culture. Okay. It makes me want to vom. Okay. It just does. Don't know. It's a good thing. However, the culture has been taken over in some of these public spaces by the most negative, Nancy, I don't even have another word for them, but they are the most negative human beings writing their novels on all the pages. And it's time that we take it back, period. And the culture is not something that is on accident. Culture has to be built intentionally. And intentionality means that you do something about it. So sitting back silent in a way that most of us have for years has let the negativity cow take over, and the cow is eating up all the positive patties. And it's time that all the positive patties grow and make those ugly cows just sort of disintegrate and disappear. I'm not very good at analogies, guys. So we're just going to say that the positive people are going to take back over. And this is, and I'm on a tangent. Jesus, take the wheel. So one of the actions, okay? 2 by 2 by 2. And I always kept a positive outlook, okay? It's all about your perspective, just like what Maggie said, okay? I looked at my paycheck. My paycheck was not what I wanted it to be, but my paycheck was still more than what I would have made and brought home as a teacher with a master's degree. Okay. So I needed to back that truck up and be thankful for what I have and know that 2015 Chasity would have absolutely cried her eyes out for that kind of check, just like Maggie said. So turning that perspective around, and it has nothing to do with toxic positivity. It has to do with being real life. If you walked up to somebody and handed them a $3,000 paycheck right now, they would cry. They would be so astronomically blessed. But the only way to get those paychecks and to continue to grow your business is just like what I heard every single one of these ladies say before me is consistency. Every single one of these ladies said before me is effort. What every single one of these ladies said before me is action. What every single one of these ladies said before me is never giving up. What every single one of these ladies said before me is stop making effing excuses about your circumstances, put on your big girl panties and get to work. Something else that really worked for me is I put my damn blinders on. I didn't have a clue what was going on because I didn't know who was who. That was before I was as compulsively nosy as I am now. Now I know too much, so I am still nosy. So I do know more than what's in the news tab, but you just have to put your blinders on. Chastity, that's why my hair should be big, right? From Mean Girls, but it's not. You just have to put your blinders on and not worry about what anybody else is doing because they don't feed your family. Just like what Arielle said, and I'm learning to say her name correctly so I don't say it wrong. Blinders are free. Blinders are free. Put them blinders on, put your head down and get to work because ain't nobody going to feed your family but you. Ain't nobody going to get you out of bed but you. Ain't nobody going to do the work but you. And if you ain't taking care of your customers, somebody else will. I just had somebody message me tonight and said, my girl ain't doing her job. Can you be my new lady? Yeah, girl, I got you. Give me that email and that contact info, putting you in my system right now, baby. I got you. In the middle of this call. People are like Santa. They're always watching. And one last thing I'm going to say is systems. I hate that word now because it seems very bossy. And I don't like to be bossed around. It needs to be my idea. If it's not my idea, I'm not doing it. But systems that worked in the beginning. Don't get me started on a snake now, okay? Systems it's nothing but something that you do consistently, and it doesn't have to be anything crazy, guys. Like, it needs to be something that's going to move the needle. What's going to move the needle every day? Talking to people. If your mouth is closed, your business is closed. If you don't ask them to join your team or to have a party or to buy from you, I will or one of them will. That's just how it's going to work. If you're not the Scentsy lady, then I'm going to be the Scentsy lady. Do they know you sell Scentsy? Is what you should ask yourself. Is there a question? Because there might be. Do some self-reflection on that. And what I was hearing Whitney say was about effort and what we were saying with Katie was it being simple, not easy. Quit worrying about making everything pretty on Canva. Quit worrying about making the damn samples. Quit worrying about your mail. Go talk to people. Go build relationships. Go be positive. Go be a kind human being. Go give back to your community. Go set your timer, like Ray said, and get the work done that actually matters. And the work that matters is talking to people, getting them to join your team, selling to them, and building a relationship with them because they are not just a number. We are all humans before we are Scentsy consultants, period. You are a human before you are a Scentsy consultant. So you have to take care of you and you have to take care of your space. But if you aren't going to take care of them, someone else will. Okay. So I hope that, oh, one other thing. My bot told me, okay? I promise I'm almost done. We're talking about the difference between inspiration and motivation. Inspiration is the spark. It hits you out of nowhere, usually when you're busy doing, my robot's kind of mean to me, literally anything else. You read something, hear a line, see a person doing the thing you wish you were doing, and your brain goes, oh, that. It's emotional, it's fleeting, and makes you feel something without asking for effort. Think, I want to do that. So I don't know about you guys. Has any of you guys felt emotional during this call and felt inspired to go out and work your business, right? It's emotional. Inspiration has the attention span of a goldfish. It shows up, causes a vibe, and leaves without cleaning up. Okay? Motivation is the engine. It's what gets you moving after the spark is gone and your couch looks extremely convincing. Oh yeah, ChatGPT. It's practical, it's often boring. It usually shows up when you've decided something matters more than your excuses, and you have to think, I'm doing this anyway. The problem is motivation doesn't magically appear. You build it by starting, not waiting. This is the big key, guys. Starting that timer, I don't like being told what to do. I don't even want to start my damn timer because I just don't want to do it. But one thing I know about me and my ADHD brain is I don't play games I can't win. I don't play games I can't win. So if I say I'm going to do something in 5 minutes, you best believe my ass is beating that timer. That GPS, that time of arrival, I'm beating that bitch. Okay. So that is where you can do things. Okay. You have to get started. Inspiration makes you want to act. Motivation makes you actually act. Inspiration is passive. Motivation is earned. Inspiration feels good. Motivation feels like work. If you wait on inspiration, you're going to stay stuck. And I think that's the difference is that people are like, I don't feel motivated, but really they're like, I don't feel inspired. When they can go hand in hand. If you want to go get inspired, go listen to a YouTube video. Go listen to a training. I can be mean to you for a minute. It'll be fine. I might hurt your feelings, but like somebody can give you some inspiration to make you do it. But one is a feeling and the other is a decision. And just like feelings aren't facts, just because you feel something doesn't mean it's true. Trust and believe. My brain tells I feel a lot of things, and that doesn't mean it's true. So, quick, right before I'm done, here's how you can manufacture motivation. Start before you feel ready, because guess what, people? You ain't never go feel ready, and if you wait till you're ready, you're gonna be dead. Sorry. You're never gonna feel ready. None of us were ready. Make it stupidly easy, which is exactly what I was trying to say, but I couldn't put my own words into it. When I say stupidly easy, you wake up and you do your 3 things that you need to do for your business. One thing about me and my ADHD brain and what I've learned last year is I have my top 3 absolutely have to do Chasity, get your ass up and work tasks. And then I have a backlist, because you know what Chasity likes to do is her backlist. I'm good at getting my backlist done, but not the 3 really important things done. So think about that. Remove friction, not add pressure. Most people don't lack motivation. They're just surrounded by nonsense. Put your phone in the other room, get your clothes laid out, tab already open, supplies visible, get your space clean. Like Maggie said, decide instead of debating. Every time you argue with yourself, motivation loses. I do that a lot. A lot. I'll do this at 9. Not do I feel like this at 9. Feelings are unreliable narrators. Damn that. Tie it to identity, not vibes. So this, you could come up with a mantra for yourself. I'm the kind of person who finishes what I start, beats, I hope I feel motivated today. Like Maggie said, we're not quitters. What is your motivation? We don't say I can't in our family. That's one thing we don't say is we don't say I can't. We're not going to do that. Use momentum like a cheat code. Momentum is everything. And I think momentum is something that I know for myself, that's what I'm lacking. I'm real good at getting started at something, but continuing to do it has been a habitual problem of mine. Okay. So momentum, use momentum like a cheat code. Motivation feels like progress. Progress feels like movement. Movement starts with action. And then the uncomfortable truth. You're not going to wake up motivated every day. You will not feel inspired first. You will, however, feel better after you begin. Motivation is a side effect of doing the thing, not the prerequisite. So there's more on this other stuff. I can show you on my mean robot later, but I'm going to be done with it. SFR, real quick blurb because I promised I'm almost done. Amber and I met at our very first SFR. I also met Maggie at my very first SFR. Chasity doesn't do strangers, but I did this one time because I felt pressured. And yeah, I had a good experience rooming with Amber and Macy because Amber and I are still like best of friends, and we have to sleep with fans and we travel well, and we did have to drive a stranger's car. We didn't know her very well, and we will never drive to Nashville and back ever again. We will sell feet pics and buy a plane ticket before we drive. We were saving money and we did, and we're glad we went, but Jesus Lord, it was the most awful drive back. When you think about how we experienced Nashville, Whitney. Amber did drive the whole way home. I did not. But anyway, okay. So you need to go to SFR. If you're not saving money right now, you need to. If you're not sure how to do that, have another party and set a PRV goal for that party. And you take that money and you set it aside. You go to Facebook, you go to your house, you go have a yard sale, baby. You list some stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You make it happen. You don't make excuses, because this one is crazy. Boise is like Disney World for Scentsy consultants. Once you go, you're going to want to go back every single time. But SFR itself being there, I am so lit to see how this is going to be. It's going to be so crazy. And then that's it. You just need to go. And I'm sure that we can facilitate conversations between people to find roommates and put people together. And like I said, if you're in the chat, absolutely meet with people. And none of us are related in, well, that's a lie. Katie and Ray are, but most of us are not in the same lineage. We're like sideline people. And then like Maggie and Arielle are not our sideline people, but we've met all through Scentsy, and we're not connected in that way. And that is what is so amazing about Scentsy, is I wouldn't know any of these amazing humans, and I would not be the human that I am without them. And I cannot imagine my life without them. Truthfully, I can't. Every single one of them have just absolutely changed my life. And we them boys, we ride or die. When we roll up, people walk away. Especially for me, but not in a mean way. But anyway, like I'm telling y'all, once you go once, you will, we can't put it into words, because you can't put it into words. It's a feeling. And I don't feel like you really understand Scentsy and Scentsy spirit and how we can all be such positive patties about the company until you've actually felt the experience in the room. So, yes, I'm getting to homework and then I'm done. Okay. Last thing, guys, homework. Okay. When you hear the word homework, if you were one of those kids who never turned it in, I'm the teacher here. Just if you're aware, if you live in North Carolina, we still had to give you credit for it and couldn't even give you a 0. The last I was allowed to give you was a 50, which is bullshit. Anyway, this is not homework where you're going to get in trouble if you don't do it, but your business is going to grow if you do. Okay. And we want to leave every single month with homework to where the beginning of the call of the following month, we're going to celebrate you. You guys are going to be able to shout out your wins. We're going to share some things that happened that went well. So maybe even some challenges that you could bring to us that we could talk about and break down. We may do some pin posts on the team pages. We don't really know. We're working this part out. But the homework for this month, we are challenging you, each and every one of you, and to go along with the great join specials that we have this month. We have the $19, we have the normal $99 and host kit, and then the $49 mystery kit. Hello, who doesn't want $200 for the product? Okay. We are challenging all of you to sponsor 2 people by World Tour. By World Tour. I hope every single one of you guys are already registered for World Tour. I think that's close. I'm not sure. Maybe it's not. But if you're not going to show up for World Tour, please make sure that you are trying your absolute best to show up for SFR. It definitely will absolutely pay off. Okay, perfect. If it's still open, if you're not registered for World Tour, you need to be. Show up for yourself, show up for your business. You have 2 weeks. You have 2 weeks to sponsor 2 new people. If you hear that and you're scared, good. Good. We're not challenging you to do anything that should be easy. We're not challenging you to do anything that we're not going to do ourselves. We've already challenged ourselves to do that as well. And the only way to do that is to get out and talk to people. Talk to people, and we're going to be watching. Thank you guys for everyone who is still on and showed up. I know I talked a lot longer than I was supposed to. I'm sorry for that, but I am just so excited that we're doing this with you guys this year. Thank y'all so much for being here. Thank you leaders for being here with us as well. Does anybody else have anything they want to say or close out?
I want to say
y'all.
one more
Love
thing.
y'all.
Wait, one more thing, okay? Because
Okay.
I think some of y'all were like, the year of the horse, ha ha ha, it's a joke. No, it's for real,
It
okay?
is for real.
It's the year of the horse, okay? And it symbolizes action, freedom, speed, and breakthrough, okay? So,
Okay.
let's go.
My vet did say that was a sign on the vet today when I passed by it.
Oh,
Anyway,
really?
yeah, it said the year of the horse 2026. I was like, Ray wasn't lying. I was confused. Or no, I heard
Yep.
Maggie say that on her story. And then I was like, oh, Maggie said that. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Sponsored to by World Tour. We love y'all. Mean it. Bye.
Bye, guys.